All right, woohoo, yay, good job. You sent your mailer. You've gone through all the hard parts. Now really you're waiting for the leads to come back. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about really what do we do when a lead comes in. And all my team thinks I'm crazy. I give away all these great resources. I'm gonna give you the exact things that we fill out to populate to make sure that we have all the info. And then I'm gonna go over with you in this video what my facts check is. It's the 5-minute check to see if a property is worth pursuing or not. All right, it may take you 15 at first, but it will take you 5 eventually, okay? So one mindset shift I want you to have early, and hopefully I can impart value here, is I don't want you to waste a bunch of time on deals that won't go through, okay? I've wasted probably a year of my life researching and looking at deals that at the end did not go through. And so what I really want you to understand here is that we don't need to do a full deep dive on every lead as it comes in. As you get started, you're gonna wanna dive into every one of them, I know. But the truth is, like, we wanna hit a few key points before we spend a bunch of time researching, okay? And I'll talk about some of the points we actually wanna talk to the seller about in the next video. But in this video, this is your precursor look at the property so you can know who you're calling and what you're calling about. All right, so in the tools of the trade section of this course, you'll see that we use MapRight, and I talk a little more about it there. But MapRight really is my best tool for analyzing deals. It allows me to do it quickly. It allows me to have most of my maps in one place. I'm a huge fan of it. We really don't even get much of an affiliate or anything for signing up with us. I'm just a really big fan of them. So MapRight is what I'm going to be showing you on the screen here as we jump over. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you the resource that we're going to give you. It's going to come in probably a slightly different form, but I'm going to show you the resource we're going to give you. And then I want to show you how to analyze a couple of deals on MapRight. Okay, so let's jump in. All right, so we're jumping over here to real behind the scenes look at my business and how it runs. Again, this course is not a technology course. It's not how to set up CRMs and sales systems and all that. This is a quick course to get you up to speed in land investing, okay? Again, in our mastermind, we have a bunch more tech and things like that if you're looking for that, but at the end of the day, you really don't need much more than a Trello board, okay? Mine's extremely complex because my team's really big, but at the end of the day, you just need a Trello board with a couple key fields, all right? What those key fields are, I'll just tell you here, is new lead, prep lead, follow up with lead, make offer, and then closing. Okay, so you can close. You can pause the video, write that down. I'm sure somebody will put it in the notes here. But those are the real things you need. And so you can set a simple Trello system up with that. If you need more robust, in-depth automation help, I encourage you to check out our mastermind. We go through that in a lot more detail. So let's talk through this here, okay? This is what I'm going to give you access to, is this section of text here. This is what my team does every single time that they look at a deal, okay? And this is really what I want you to gather. This is the facts check, all right, is this section of text here. So we'll provide that to you over in the download section, and then you can copy and paste that and put that wherever you desire, all right? So let's go through what we do here. So when a lead comes in, before anybody gets called, we create these MapRight links, okay? You'll see there's an internal and external. It's hard to check things from your phone if it's the internal link, so we put the external link because I'm working from my phone a lot, okay? We also put the Google Maps link in here, so we can look at it both in MapRight and on Google Maps. All right, so you're starting to see our facts here. our comps are down here, all right? Comps are right here, but you see FAC and then taxes and slope. Okay, so let me save this real quick so you can see what we're talking about. That's what we're going through, and that's what we're going to determine, okay? On this specific one, my team messed up. I can already see. I'll show you that as we walk through, but this is preparing your lead. So if we can pop up on the screen the intake workflow resource, you'll see that where we are right now is we're ensuring we have all the information. That's what this is, and going through the facts check. That is also what this is, filling these things out, okay? So now I'm gonna jump back into the computer, and I'm gonna show you on MapRight how we actually do that. So for this specific deal here, where my team kind of messed up a little bit is it was too sloped, all right? They said it was flat, and I can kind of see why they may have thought it was flattish, but it really wasn't. So let me jump over and find it. It's this one right here. So here in MapRight, we're able to create these links, and it was simply I just clicked this button to get there. So it's really, really handy. So this deal, decent deal. And here in MapRight, you can look at contour lines, which will show you the sloping, right? In reality, that doesn't look super sloped compared to something like this. But where they missed is they actually missed what the true slope is. So this little fact alone, I know I've said this a few times through the course, this will pay for your education here plus like 100x from stopping you from doing good deals. If your slope is above 25 to 30%, it's too sloped. It's very difficult to build. It's very difficult for somebody to envision themselves buying the property, okay? So if you see right here, right, you can see that there's less slope in between these two lines. There's a little cabin there. So that kind of makes sense. But let's come over here, okay? And how do we figure out 25 to 30% slope? There's not really a tool you can do to do it. What you gotta do is you just gotta choose this perimeter measurement. It's just gonna measure length, okay? And I generally go from the edge of the road here, and you wanna measure out a 100-foot line, a 100-foot straight line. Okay, you can see on the side of my screen, it's 80, it's 90, now it's 100, okay? So let's mark this 100-foot line. So if over the course of a 100-foot line, your property changes slope more than 30 feet, that means your slope is at 30%, okay? So let's look here. This is 9,920 feet, all right? And this one up here is 9,960 feet. Those steps are a little wider than normal, so I can see why my team missed this. But 9920 to 9960 is 40 feet, okay? We're covering about 75% of that, so that's about 30 feet, right? Hopefully that makes sense. This is a 100-foot line. We can tell by measuring from here to here that the change in slope is about 30 feet because it's 9920 here, it's 9960 here. I'm making a little guesstimate, but I'm pretty confident that that is a 100-foot line with about a 30-foot elevation change. That is right on the edge of unusable, okay? Some people will buy it. I've bought sloped properties many times in the past, and like I tell everybody, every property always sells. It's just a matter of time. So we went back to this person and said, hey, property's too sloped. We would have to pay less for it. They did not want to pay. They did not want less for it, so the deal died. So in the facts check, okay, F-A-C-T-S, S is slope, all right? That's what killed this deal here. A couple other quick things we can check, all right? What's the F? Floodplain? Click the button right here, FEMA floodplain, all right? And this will say, I believe this is gonna say that it's not included. So we don't know for sure if this is included. This is at about 10,000 feet in elevation, so I'm pretty confident it's not in a floodplain, but not all areas will have that. I'll hop over to another one and show you. Let's click the floodplain here. Okay, so floodplain's on. You can see there's floodplain around it, but there's no floodplain on this property. Now, a quick note on floodplain, okay? Just because it's in a floodplain does not mean it's unusable. You just have to understand it for your area, okay? For example, one of my employees lives in Arizona. We invest a lot in Arizona. She says all of Arizona's in a floodplain, right? I don't know that, I don't live in Arizona, but I do invest a lot there. And I do know a lot of our deals are in floodplains or they have wetlands going through them. And that is not as big of a deal in Arizona as it is in Texas, okay? Very jurisdictional. Even in Florida, it's much, much more important, or near the coast in Texas, right? Floodplain is very jurisdictional. So you need to contact the county planning and zoning, enter county name, planning and zoning in Google, call them and ask them about floodplain requirements, all right? If it's a long list, probably a red flag. If it's like, no, nothing, then you're fine. Okay, so back over here on my screen. So we're checking floodplain, right? No floodplain. What's next in here? It's access, right? So let's see. This property has road access. Great. This property has road access. Great. This property, even though it shows road access, we're not 100% sure if it has road access, okay? You can see how it's kind of in the middle of like nothing here. It shows a road. This one would be more questionable on if it had access, all right? So a couple quick notes on access. There's two kinds of access. There's legal and there's physical access. All right. Legal access means it's in the deed, it's in the chain of title that you have right to enter and use that property from certain waypoint. Okay. Physical access is exactly what it sounds like. You can drive onto the property, but who knows if it's legal. Okay. My general barometer is I want both. Okay. I don't necessarily do deals if I don't have both. It can be a dirt road in a legal access. That's fine. But if my hard no is legal access. If there's no legal access and I can't gain it, then it's a no from me, okay? Past that, if there's legal access, but maybe the road hasn't been cut, or it's snowy, or the road's bad, or whatever it is, it's terraneous, then you just gotta make a decision and kind of decide on what you think the property will sell for with the current condition. So jumping back over to our screen here, these two properties had very clear access. You can see there's a road here, and then you can see there's houses and such built around here, and there's roads, as you can see right here. Normally if there's houses built, that means that there's got access to it. So those two had access. This one is one that I was more concerned with, right? Even though you can see there's this little like road running through it, what actually is that? Well, it's just a tiny little dirt road. And we're still trying to figure out how exactly that connects and what the legal route is. Looks like it's in through there, up through there, and down through there. But these are things you have to verify. So this is a red flag we would have seen in our pre-due diligence, okay? So we've gone through floodplain. And just real quick, floodplain also includes wetlands, okay? So this is floodplain. I guarantee you'll see little wetlands here, yep. You wanna make sure, wetlands are a lot more dangerous than floodplain, all right? Wetlands, if your property is mostly covered in a wetland, it's in most areas going to be unusable, okay? If it has little strands of wetland like you see on the screen, then that's okay. That's perfectly fine, but wetland is normally like the non-negotiable. Floodplain is just going to depend on the area, all right? So there's floodplain. We've talked about access. Comps, okay, this is the process of going back into data tree, going back into Lands of America, going back into all the tools we talk about and finding similar properties, okay? This is really important, all right? Very, very important. Whenever you're mailing, you're doing general assumptions, kind of assumptions for an area, okay? Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Welcome to business, all right? When you're comping a property, how I like to teach is you need to zoom in directly to the property on every website and slowly zoom out and redo your search. Because when you're comping a property, you want to find like comps. Comps that are very similar, they're right next to it, same acreage, same area. You don't want to make generalizations. Now it's time to get detailed. So for comps, how I generally recommend it is you zoom into all the websites, Zillow, Land of America, Data Tree, and you zoom out and you just start seeing what are the sales prices? What are the prices per acre, okay? So that's the C. We've got floodplain, access, comps. T for taxes, you can generally go to the county treasurer's website, enter the parcel ID for the property, and it will show you the taxes. For 95% of counties, enter Apache County Treasurer, search the property, it'll tell you what the yearly taxes are, and if there's any taxes back due. And then S, we've already talked about, is slope, okay? So this is our initial due diligence for property, okay? We call it the facts check. It's obviously a little more in depth. We kind of just walked through it here. We create our map links, we go through our big red flags, and from that, we should know, hey, no big red flags, and I have a general idea of what the property's worth. Maybe you don't know the exact price, that's fine. We rarely know the exact price. We really never know the exact price. We're always making educated guesses. But at this price, you've got the ammo you need to get on the phone with the seller, okay? So what the whole goal of this is to eliminate properties that are red flags that you won't really want to touch, right? So if they don't have access, they're really sloped, things like that, they're all wetland, that's stuff that we would just say, hey, we're not interested in buying, thanks for reaching out. Right? But now that you've got past your red flags and you've got a general idea for the price, it's time to get on the phone and talk to the seller. All right, so that is our initial check, right? When the lead comes in, this is what you can do. You'll get it down to 5 or 10 minutes, right? It's really, really quick. Don't spend more time on it. It's my big plea and my recommendation to you is not to spend more time than it needs, okay? And up front, all you need to do is check off your boxes and get a basic idea of price. All right, once you have all those things, now it's time to talk to the seller. So in the next video, we will talk about talking to sellers, what's the general things we want to get on the call, and how we handle getting deals under contract. All right, we'll see you there. Hey, hope this video helped. Wanted to throw one more thing at you. Just as I was sitting here finishing filming, thinking about this, the truth is, once you get the mechanics of land investing, sending out mail, getting leads in, the majority of what slows you down from scaling is being confident in your deals. Am I right? Is it worth 10,000 or is it worth 5? Am I overpaying? Or is it a home run? It's worth 30, right? I think some of the most value you can get is being in a room, being around other people who are doing deals. And especially within our mastermind, we have access to where you can get a deal reviewed for low to no cost at any time, okay? Whether it's with some of the people in our group or it's with one of our coaches, low to no cost. If you're in our mastermind, we will review any deal you have with you. Okay, so I just want to let you know that because I've been doing this for a long time, and where people get mostly hung up and they lose their momentum. If you're a Tony Robbins fan, you know that momentum is really what creates the energy and the success in your business. And if you keep hitting brick walls, if you keep hitting brick walls, not being confident in your pricing, oftentimes your momentum in your business is going to slow. So I find it's a huge slowdown. We definitely encourage you, if you're interested, to check out our mastermind. We'd be able to help you a lot more in there to actually look at your deals and hopefully keep your momentum up. All right, see you in the next video. Thanks for listening. Bye.